Hello, pre-calculus sufferers. I sound like a robot today. Welcome to Brown World, where I am currently staging a coup to over. Never mind. Wrong class. So, really quick, in pre-calculus, generally on Fridays, we are going to do our stock charts, and that is exactly what you're going to be doing. So we got to make sure that we fill in those blanks on the Excel sheet that you were given. Just making sure that the first 2 pages are complete, because that means that we have now, I believe, completed week 4 of stocks, which is pretty wild. So make sure that gets done, and that's your homework. For the video today, I wanted to do a once-over so you guys have an example to refer to with both sequences and series, so that if this was giving you more of a headache, hopefully having something to look at a couple times will give you the clarity you need to work through it better. So, and I'm not checking for homework today. We're just going to make a hard reboot on Monday, because we got to figure out what to do. So, first things first, when we have a sequence, specifically an arithmetic sequence, which means, oh wait, there's no one in the classroom to answer my awkward questions, unfortunately. Arithmetic sequence means that there is an equal distance between each number. In other words, from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, you're increasing by 1 every time. From 10 to 5, 5 to 0, 0 to negative 5, negative 5 to negative 10, you're decreasing by 5 every single time. And so that's an arithmetic sequence. Generally, we avoid multiplication and division for those. So first things first. If I give you your equation, right, and I tell you that A1 is 6, so the first number in our sequence is 6. And then I tell you that the 6th term in our sequence is 28. And then I ask you to give me what the 10th sequence term is. Well, we could kind of guess and check our way, kind of like Cain and managed to in class. But the easier way is just to plug in some numbers and do 2 quick equations. So I have a bunch of information here, and I need to find a sub 10. So let's see how I do that. First things first, I'm going to plug in A1 into this equation. So A1 is 6. Now that I've used A1, I'm going to use my A6 and 28 for n. So my n value is the one that's down here. So that's 6 minus 1. And now I know that an is going to be 28. So let's talk about how we find those variables. So A1 is just going to be this number, because A1 is like a variable. It's like saying x equals 6, and this would be x. Now, an is also like a variable. So an could be A6, it could be A10, it could be A1, whatever I choose to make it. I'm just going to use A6 because I have information on it. So when an is A6, that is like a variable. Let's say that's y. Y equals 28. So I can replace an with 28 because an could also mean A6. Now, when a sub n is 28, what is that n value? It's 6 because it's right here, a sub n, which is a sub 6, which I could substitute in for my n. So it's just a big mess of variables. But with practice, you two will be able to solve this mess. So an is a6 in this case because I told you it is, and that's going to equal 28. So 28 an, which is a6, which is 28, equals a1, which is 6, plus n, which is 6, minus 1 times d, which I don't know, which is what I want, because once I find the d, then I can very easily plug that d in to find a sub 10. So let's do it. First step here would be simplified parentheses, because PEMDAS. So 6 minus 1 would give me 5. So that would be 6 plus 5d equals 28. I can't do anything with this 5 because I can't do multiplication or division until I get rid of my subtraction and addition. I got to move this 6 to add 28 to make like terms. I can subtract 6 from both sides, which gives me 22 here equals 5d. Now I can divide my 5 out from the d, divide both sides by 5, and I get d equals 22 over 5, or like 5.13, something like that. I'm going to leave it as 22 over 5 because I don't feel like fixing it. So I have d equals 22 over 5. This is notes, by the way. I recommend pause the video and write this down because I'll have to erase it real quick. All right. So I know that my d value is 22 over 5. That's important because now I can use this to plug back into here, and then I can plug other numbers that I already know into here, and I can find that guy. So remember that I plug my 28 in as the first term, right? What you're equaling is what you plug in the first term. So I don't know that, so I'm going to say question mark. Or I can say A10, because that's what I'm trying to find. Equals, what is A1? Well, we still know it's 6. Plus, what is N? Well, what is the number I'm looking for? I'm looking for the 10th term, so I'm going to write 10 minus 1 times D, which I have, which is 22 over 5. Cool. This is going to be a little ugly, but we can do it. So 10 minus 1, so 8. So 10 equals, what's 10 minus 1? It's very obviously 9. So 9 times 22 over 5. Probably better suited for a calculator, but we do 22 times 9, we get 9 times 2 is 18, 9 times 2 is 18, we get 198 over 5. That's terrible. So we get a sub 10 equals 6 plus 198 over 5. Fantastic. So if we were to simplify this even further, we'd use a calculator. I don't have a calculator, so I'm going to do it by hand. A sub 10 equals. If I wanted to make 6 have a denominator of 5, I would multiply 6 by 5, which is 30. So I can write this as 30 over 5. So 30 plus 198 would give me 228 over 5, which in my calculator would be my answer at somehow, which I believe is 10, 20, 30, 40, 45 and some change. Cool. And I'm done. Now, I just made this up off the top of my head. There will not be as many fractions when you do it. But to summarize what we just did, what was the game plan? Where did we get our numbers, and what were we trying to find? So this is sort of like a multi-stage problem where we know an AN is 28, and we know that when AN is 28, the N value is 6. So we can plug in 28 here and 6 here and be happy. We always know A1, so we have 3 out of the 4 variables, so we can solve for D. Once we have D, now we have 4 out of 4 variables. So we need to find A sub 10, and 10 is our N value. So now we have D, N, and A1, and we can solve for AN, which in this case will be A10. I'll be here all day. Is my laptop going to die while I'm recording? That would be very unfortunate. 16%. I can do it. I can also sneeze. Ouch. Anyway, let's say we had a series, okay? And I'm going to make up a different example because I found this in my brain this morning and I enjoyed it. Let's say we had a series, bonus points if you remember what this is actually called. So if I had a series from 3 to 7, sort of like a limit or like an integral, and the equation I was given was a squared minus 2a. And I asked for the value of this series, okay? The value means we're adding all our terms together. Remember, we started doing that yesterday. So I'm going to start with from 3 and plug in every number leading up to 7, and then add my answers together. So first, I would plug in 3 into the equation, which would give me 3 squared minus 2 times 3, which gives me 9 minus 6, which gives me 3. So in my answer box, I'm going to write 3. Now I plug in 4. 4 squared minus 2 times 4. That's 16 minus 8, which gives me 8. Next, I would plug in 5. 5 squared minus 2 times 5. That's 25 minus 10, which gives me 15. Next, I have 6 squared minus 2 times 6. Notice I'm literally just plugging in the A values in for A, which is 36 minus 12, which is 24. And last but not least, I have 7 squared minus 7 times 2. I wrote that backwards, but it's fine. Which would be 49 minus 14, which would be 35. Hooray. So the question becomes, is this an arithmetic sequence? It's a series, but is it an arithmetic sequence? I go from 3 to 8, which is a difference of 5, 8 to 15, which is different from 7, 15 to 24, which is a difference from 9, and 24 to 35, which is a difference of 11. If you notice the pattern here, do let me know. Either way, you now have proof of a sequence being solved and a series being solved, and that should help, I think. Anyway, we will be having a graded assignment on this stuff on Tuesday, whether or not we are back in person. If we do it online, that would be in the form of a Google form. Monday, I fully intend for us to meet online, in-person-ish. In other words, I will post a Zoom link on Google Classroom for you to click on and join. Please make sure you're there, because the very act of attending those things will be counting for graded assignments. Because it's hard to grade things when you're not in person. Anyway, I hope you guys have a lovely weekend. Remember, don't forget to do your stock things. I'm going to need proof that those 2 pages are complete next week. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Don't be too silly. Bye.